Hi, my name is Sam. Welcome to my new guitar channel. This is my first guitar posting on YouTube, so we'll kind of just see how this goes. But it's been a time of crazy quarantine, and there's been a lot of new people posting videos on YouTube. So I, got a little bit inspired, and I've created a little bit of a collection here with some of my instruments and have been playing for quite a long time. So I figured this would be a good opportunity to try out making some videos. So we're going to see how this goes. I thought for a first video I would kind of introduce myself a little bit and talk about some of the stuff that I'm using, that I've gotten some inspiration from to set up my guitar rig. And so I'm going to just start talking about how I started to learn guitar and how I use YouTube videos to improve upon things and learn new skills. Every day I'm learning new skills from YouTube videos, so that's what's really inspired me. So I've been playing guitar for probably more than 15 years. I started when I was maybe 7 or 8 years old, and I studied classical guitar for roughly 12 years in the Suzuki method, and that gave me a really good foundation in guitar technique. And other than that, though, I've basically been self-taught when it comes to rock, blues, country style guitar, which is primarily what I'm playing nowadays. A lot of that I've just learned from watching YouTube videos, and a lot of them are pretty unbelievable, and especially the skills that you're able to learn from some of you guys out there. It's just pretty amazing. So what I've got down here, I'll talk a little bit about my pedal board, just a small little pedal board that I'm using, and my amp. The amp that I'm playing through right now is a Bluesdelux reissue Fender, the Tweed amp. Awesome amplifier, totally the type of thing that I need right now. I do have this small little Vox, basically a modeling amp. That's great for just playing studio, at home type stuff. Occasionally I'll bring it to a band rehearsal or something like that, but usually I'm even just using the Fender, and so that does the job for me. I've got just a pretty modest pedal board. So basically all I've got is I go from the guitar right into my tuner. I'm using the Polytune 2 by TC Electronic. It's an awesome tuner. I've seen a lot of, I got the recommendations from some YouTube videos, and it's just a great tuner. It's bright, it's accurate, it's perfect for what I need. I go right into a tube screamer after that. I'm using this Boss Mega Distortion. Not my favorite pedal in the world. It was actually one of my first pedals, and I'm basically just using it as essentially a boost pedal at this point. It'll probably be phased out pretty soon. I've got the Holy Grail reverb pedal. It's great. I've used it for a long time, and then I just go into the Ditto Looper, which was a real game changer for me to get that pedal. It helps me out with rehearsing and things like that, and I love it. And then I use the reverb and the overdrive that's built right into the Fender amp, and that does the job for me right now. It'll probably be expanding, but this is what I'm using at this point. So for this video, I really wanted to talk a little bit about this guitar. And I thought that this would be a good place to start for a couple of reasons. This was my first electric guitar that I got when I was 12 years old. My dad bought it for me from Guitar Center. It's a Fender Strat style guitar, but it's actually a Wilburncustomshop Strat, and they call this one the Bluesrebel. It is, I don't have many of the stats on this guitar, but it's all basically Strat style, and it's got a floating bridge, which I don't have the trem on right now. pretty nice. Actually, a little bit of figuring back here. Maple neck, thick. It's a pretty substantial neck compared to other Strats. And the body is exceptionally light. I've never measured it. Maybe I'll get around to that. Maybe I can add it into the video later on. But it is very light. I remember when we bought it, the salesman there, the guitar tech, was commenting on how light it was. And for a 12-year-old who was just starting out and came from classical guitar, this was absolutely the perfect first guitar. It's been sort of a love-hate relationship with this guitar though, because I wasn't really getting out of it what I thought I wanted. And over time, I realized that the sound that I was really striving for was more of a humbucker, Gibson style sound. And when I realized what the capabilities of a Strat should be, this guitar has stepped right up and become one of my favorites, absolutely. So I'll talk a little bit about some of the modifications that I've done to it over the years that I've had it. It's got pretty big fret wire and is probably in need of a refret. I haven't done that. A little bit of denting up here in the first position. But the major modifications that I've made is I replaced this guard. It was a black, kind of faded and a little bit warped and bent black pick guard. And I found this just Fender, Strat replacement pick guard online, and it just fit right into place perfectly. And I just think that tortoiseshell really looks good with the three-tone burst. One of the volume knob, I remember right from the beginning when we bought this guitar, was pretty loose, and it would actually pop or fall off while playing. And there's just a little bit of putty that I stuck in there, and that actually holds it right in place, and I've never had any issues with it. And then recently, within the past year, I had watched a lot of videos online about sanding, stripping finish off of the neck of a finished maple neck like this. And I took some very fine grit sandpaper, and I used some painter's tape, low tack painter's tape, and I taped off the heel here and then up by the headstock. And I probably could have gone a little bit more coarse, but I was at about 1,000 to 1,500 grit paper, and just took off that super tacky, polished feeling. And this neck is just awesome. I did the same thing to my Telecaster, and it's the best decision I've made, and I can't believe I didn't do it sooner. So what I'll do is I'll go through just some of the basic tones of this guitar and do a little bit of a demo on it. So I'll start up here on the bridge position, and we'll just do some basic tones. So moving up to that sort of halfway position, this is a 5-way switch. So that sort of halfway position combination of middle and bridge gets that sort of quacky sound. And up to that sweet middle position. And if you'll notice, there is a little bit of a crackling here. I've done a little bit of work on the input jack, and this this screw was actually loose and totally stripped out the wood, and so I reamed that out, put in a glued in a dowel and re-drilled it, and it fixed most of the problem, but occasionally there's a little bit of usually when I'm playing I have the cable hooked in on the guitar strap here, so just bear with me on that. So that middle sound. So we'll go up into that that fourth position combination of the middle and neck pickup, and it's got a really sweet kind of warm sound. And we'll go to that neck position and show you a little bit of that. So, that's a good example of the different tones that I'm able to get out of this one, and it's a comfortable guitar to play. When it comes to playing live, it does everything a Strat should do. I do have the trem bar for it, and so I can add that in a little bit. I've got it tightened down pretty good. I typically don't use that, but again, the other thing that I forgot to mention about this one, it does have Grover tuners on it, which are stable. It stays in tune really well. It's got 2 string trees, and it's just a great guitar. And some dents and scratches in it, and I don't mind that. Again, it's got a really comfortable neck, sort of just a nice C-shape neck profile, and not quite baseball bat, but it's definitely a chunky neck. So that's it. That's my Wilburn Bluesrebel Strat style, and I haven't been able to find any reviews of guitars like this from that company, and so maybe this will be one of the first. I saw one. I think I did find one video that actually used a Wilburn guitar, but it was not really a Strat style like this. It was different. I don't remember all the specifics of it, but I believe this may be one of the first reviews of the Wilburn Bluesrebel. So I hope you enjoy that. It's a great guitar, and I'll see you guys again in hopefully some new videos coming up. I'll probably talk about some of my other instruments and give some more demos, and we'll see where this channel goes. So thanks for watching. I appreciate it, and everybody enjoy the day.